Attention, what follows may shock. It is only for learning and entertainment. This text recounts the exact testimony at the federal court trial of Sean Diddy Combs, according to Inner City Press. In a packed courtroom, Tupac Shakur's voice was held by the speakers. A strong, moving, and unfiltered voice. It was a never-before-heard recording, taken from an unpublished interview, hidden for years, supposedly blocked by Diddy himself. Now, in the midst of an explosive trial that has destroyed Diddy's empire, this tape resurfaces. It could be the final evidence against him. Tupac, who was considered paranoid, today seems like a prophet. These words, recorded shortly before his death, identified a frightening story of betrayal, manipulation, and power games in the music industry. And at the center of it all, Diddy. It's no longer just a story of East Coast
against West Coast. It's the story of a man who perhaps knew he was being stalked and left a message, just in case. The court wasn't even in mind at the time, but Tupac already saw what was going to happen. Long before this trial, long before Cassie testified or Monique said enough to the industry, Tupac was shouting the truth from within. But no one wanted to listen. Not because they didn't believe it, but because the truth was too dangerous. It would have shattered everything too soon. It all started with a now legendary interview, Angie Martinez and Tupac in 1996. The interview lasted 2 hours, but we only got 10 minutes. Angie said she cut the broadcast to protect the peace, that showing the whole conversation would have worsened the war between the East Coast and the West Coast. But now, we know that was a lie. And not just any lie. A lie backed by power. According to Jen Deal, someone close to Diddy, it wasn't Angie's decision to hide the interview.
It was Diddy's, but Cassie wasn't alone. The next witness was neither an actress nor a singer. It was Jean Diel, Diddy's former bodyguard. He looked Diddy in the eyes and said, "You weren't protecting anything. You were hiding everything." Diddy confirmed what many suspected. Diddy had the tape of Angie Martinez's interview. He had listened to it. He had hidden it. Because in that interview, Tupac gave a plan. A map that led straight to the truth. And Diddy knew that if the world heard it, his empire would collapse. Then Monique arrived, a total surprise. She wasn't scheduled, but when she took the stand, the atmosphere in the room changed. She wasn't angry. She had evidence, dates, quotes, private recordings. She told the court, people were not protecting Diddy because they believed him. They were protecting their own place at the table. And Diddy was at the head of that table. She pointed fingers at big names, Tyler Perry, Oprah, industry bosses, media heads. Monique said they were not just silent, they were complicit. At one point, she looked at the jury and stated, this trial was supposed to be about Cassie, but now, it's about the entire system that allowed this. The judge did not stop him. No one could. Because at that moment, it was no longer just about Diddy. It was about a world that allowed her to become untouchable for decades, while silencing those who dared to speak out. And Tupac was the first they tried to silence. Jean-Philippe entered the courtroom as if he had been keeping all this inside for years. And maybe he had. He was behind Diddy during the great years of Bad Boy. He saw the parties, the guests, the unspoken rules. But now, he had enough of pretending. He took an oath, looked at Diddy and said, "Do you remember what you told me back then? You said that Tupac talked too much and that one day, someone was going to silence him. I haven't forgotten." What could feel the tension in the room? Jean was not dramatic. He was tired. He was not angry, he was ready. He explained how Diddy had ordered to hide Angie Martinez's interview. He had ears everywhere. Nothing escaped him, Jean said. And Tupac's voice. It was too dangerous to be aired. He told the jury that Diddy's obsession with Tupac was personal. It wasn't just competition. It was jealousy. Diddy was studying Tupac, his way of dressing, of moving. He wanted to be like him, but he couldn't be shit. Jean described how Diddy copied Tupac's Versace outfits, chased after the same women, and imitated his records.